The Kentucky Air National Guard's 123rd Airlift Wing is one of the most decorated units in Air Force history, with 17 Air Force Outstanding Unit Awards, 8 Distinguished Flying Unit plaques, and multiple other awards, including the Spats and Metcalf trophies. That legacy is a testament to the dedication of its airmen, who have continually answered the call to serve wherever they're needed. Since 9/11 alone, the Wing's airmen have deployed to over 36 countries worldwide, logging more than 300,000 days of service, much of it in combat zones. From the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan to humanitarian missions in Somalia, Bosnia, and the Ebola crisis in East Africa, to disaster recovery assignments following earthquakes in Japan and Haiti, and homeland hurricanes like Katrina, Harvey, Irma, and Maria, the Kentucky Air Guard has been a key participant. This commitment to global service dates to the Wing's earliest days in 1947, but one of its most significant federal missions took place in 1968, when the Wing, then known as the 123rd Tactical Reconnaissance Wing, was mobilized in response to the Pueblo Crisis. On January 23, 1968, the North Korean military seized the USS Pueblo, a U.S. Navy intelligence vessel operating in international waters, killing one crew member and capturing 82 others. The incident raised international tensions to near crisis level and precipitated the call-up of the Kentucky Air National Guard. With military forces heavily engaged in Vietnam, President Lyndon Johnson mobilized Kentucky's 123rd Tactical Reconnaissance Wing on January 26, 1968. Air Guard units in Arkansas and Nevada were attached to the Kentucky Wing for administrative purposes, and those units were also called to federal service. The no-notice recall brought 104 officers and 650 airmen of the Kentucky Air Guard to active duty abruptly, giving them no time to adjust from civilian life. Nonetheless, within 24 hours, all members of the Kentucky units reported for active duty. By January 29th, the Kentucky Airmen launched into serious training efforts. Air crews were sent to Sea Survival School at Homestead Air Force Base, Florida, and to tactical training at Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina, home of the Tactical Air Reconnaissance Center. Other training included camera repair, aircraft maintenance, photo processing and interpretation, and intelligence debriefing. On May 28th, the unit was alerted that it would be moved to Richards Gebaur Air Force Base, Missouri, located south of Kansas City. Farewell ceremonies were held in Louisville July 9th for the departing units, and RF-101 Voodoo aircraft from Kentucky and Nevada were deployed July 12th to Missouri. Back in Louisville, personnel from the inactivated portions of the Kentucky Air Guard were beginning to leave for other assignments. 131 Kentuckians were reassigned to 30 separate bases in the continental United States, and 173 were sent overseas. Of those leaving the country, 156 went to 6 bases in Korea, 14 to 2 bases in Japan, 1 to South Vietnam, and 1 to Libya. The main group of personnel assigned to Richards Gebaur reported July 22nd, and the Wing's 165th Squadron began its rotation to the Far East in January 1969, bound for Itazuki Air Base, Japan. While overseas, the unit flew 18 sorties per day as directed by the Operations Center at Osan Air Base, Korea. Most of the photo targets were bridges, railway complexes, communications facilities, airfields, and radar sites. One of their biggest jobs was pre-strike photography for Exercise Focus Retina, then the longest airborne assault in history, which took place in March. In late April, the 165th returned to Richards Gebaur, and the following month, from May 18th to the 25th, the Kentucky and Nevada contingents returned to their respective Air National Guard bases. A deactivation ceremony for the Kentucky Air Guardsmen was conducted in Louisville on June 9, 1969. During the recall period of 17 months, the entire wing compiled an enviable record, logging approximately 20,000 tactical flying hours from a total of 11,561 sorties, and delivered almost 320,000 reconnaissance prints to requesting agencies. The command was deployed on important missions to the Panama Canal Zone, the Alaskan Air Command, and to Itazuki Air Base, Japan. It also lost one of its aircrew members, Captain Robert W. Sawyer, who was killed when he ejected from his disabled RF-101 Voodoo during a flight near Kansas City on August 5, 1968. At various ceremonies, 37 individual awards were presented to Kentucky Air National Guardsmen for outstanding performance during the recall, including the Bronze Star Medal. Performance during the period also earned the unit its very first Air Force Outstanding Unit Award. In his comments to the airmen of the 123rd following the unit's deactivation, Wing Commander Brigadier General Jack Owen spoke of the unit's impressive accomplishments under trying circumstances. "As we close out our active duty service," Owen said, "we can look back upon the outstanding service of this wing, particularly its tactical squadrons, which have compiled a tremendous record in Japan and the Republic of Korea. Operationally, this wing is without equal anywhere in the Air Force. We have flown more hours, more sorties, and more fragged missions than any comparable unit anywhere. If we're a little proud of ourselves, we have good cause." That pride is still evident in the men and women of the Kentucky Air National Guard today, thanks in part to the legacy of service set by the airmen who answered the call to the Pueblo Crisis 50 years ago.